Hello and welcome. This is Calvin Starr and this is the Leader's Vocabulary. And this week's word is visualization, okay? Now, this is a really important aspect of every person's business, is to be able to visualize. We often refer to really great leaders as visionaries. And those are the types of people that actually can see things and picture things before they actually happen. And then most importantly is to drive towards that and actually create it. And sometimes, and most times actually, is that when you have a great vision, a lot of times it actually ends up being a lot better than what you could envision it at that time, because as we go through this process and this journey, we grow. And today I was listening to a podcast with James Altucher, and he had Brandon Webb on, and Brandon Webb is a Navy SEAL. He's written the books like The Red Line and Among Heroes, and he started his own TV network with all this intellectual and special ops type thing. And I was listening to him, and it was really a profound lesson about visualizations. And so you ask yourself, well, how is it important in my business? And the answer to that is very simple. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself being portrayed to your customers or to the people that you're looking to get into business with? How do you see yourself when you're on a phone call or when you're about to get up in front of a group of people and speak to them? If you're not taking the time to actually visualize those things as happening in a good way and happening in a successful way, then you really are cheating yourself out of something that's really a powerful lesson. And Brandon was talking about how after he was in the Navy SEALs and became a Navy SEAL, remember, this is like the top level of expertise in this field of weaponry and in the Army and Navy and all that kind of stuff. So it's like at the top. And out of 220 something people that he had in his group, only 23 of them actually passed. And then what was really exciting for him, and really what made a big impact on me, is that he got invited to be a sniper. And he went to the sniper school. And then he went off and was such a successful sniper that when he came back, they invited him to actually train and redo the way that they were training snipers. And what was really interesting is that before he took over, before he took over and started to train these snipers, they had about a 30% success rate. Now, again, these are Navy SEALs who have already gone through this rigorous training. And then when they take a few of them over to being a sniper, they only 30% actually passed. So you can imagine what those snipers went through. And he said that what he did is he went through this whole process and really talked about how he was teaching the snipers to actually visualize and see things before they happen. And he says, and through this, and also too, one of the other aspects of it, which was really great and fantastic, was that instead of a negative type of training where it was like, you're doing this wrong, and that typical thing that we think about when we think of a drill sergeant, right? Always just pounding in your head about, what a loser you are and all these different things. And he kind of joked about that. And he goes, but what we did was we turned it into positive. We started focusing on the good things about what they could do or what they were doing. And instead of saying, hey, don't flinch, it's more of like, hey, remain steady and calm here and slowly squeeze the trigger type of thing. And you think, well, okay. And it makes total sense, because when you take a lot of those negative things that we talk about, and we talk about these things in our industry, it can start to put those things in people's heads. And I'm a big firm believer that you've got to know how to carry yourself when somebody does come at you with negativity. And so he actually taught them as well, not only to visualize that perfect picture of what was going to happen, but he also told them, visualize it not happening correctly and putting yourself in that state. Because he quoted Mike Tyson, who said, everybody has a plan until they get punched for the first time, and then your plan kind of goes out the window. And so he said, visualize that bad and then watch how you respond and learn how to deal with that. That's powerful. There's a lot of people that he quoted and showed the success, but here's the big kicker for this, is that after he taught this way, and he taught the Navy SEALs to visualize, and he taught with a more positive impact rather than a negative impact, they had a success rate of almost 100% of those snipers. And to me, that's profound, because if you're already a successful leader, if you're already out there creating amazing change with your company and with your product, then take it to the next level and start to visualize yourself as you're on a call. Start to visualize yourself as you're speaking in front of an event. Start to visualize yourself on how you're walking across stage as that next rank in your company's ranking system, right? Start to visualize these things on a daily basis. And one of the things that I do every morning and evening is I go through a meditation, 20 minutes long. That's all it takes. And I visualize myself and what I want to accomplish and what I want to achieve and who I want to become. And then at night, I actually visualize the things that I have accomplished and what I liked and what I didn't like and how I could improve those things. And this is something I'm going to invite you to do. And when he was talking about the psychology, it immediately reminded me of my wife, who has just recently just kind of dived into this over the last few years and really studied the psychology of human behavior, especially for our kids, because she's an amazing mom and does all these things really to help benefit, because she realized that maybe her past experience wasn't the greatest for her. And so, going through that process, she doesn't want to keep passing on the same mistakes through, generation after generation. And so she's gone through these programs, and she recently just finished a program with a lady by the name of Marissa Pierce, who is getting like, $1,500 an hour for her services as a hypnotherapist. And so my wife, Christina, went out there and took this, 8-day course, I think it was, or maybe a little bit longer, I think, up in Vancouver last November, and became a certified hypnotherapist. And so when I was listening to Brandon Webb talk about this, visualization process, hypnotherapy, because I've done it before, is such a tremendous thing, and it's like hyper visualization. So if you're looking to actually, lose some weight or achieve better results in your business, or looking to become a better three-way caller or a better presenter or just a better parent or better anything, hypnotherapy could be for you. So look down below, and you know what? She's actually accepting people into her practice now. And it's a really exciting time, because watching the transformation that she's able to achieve with not only the people that she's working with, but also within the family is tremendous. And so I invite you to do that. So let's think about that as we're going through our day, every single day. And because you know what, I struggle. I've had my days where I've been down and out, and you've got to start to pick yourself up. And one of the things that you can do is visualize those things and visualize what you want to happen. Visualize what you want to take place, and watch your world begin to transform before your eyes. That's the power of visualization. That's the power that you have at your fingertips right now. There's no book to buy. There's no skill set to have. If you want to, hyper accelerate it, then by all means reach out to Christina. I'll put her contact information down below. But all you have to do is start to visualize, and it doesn't take very long. It doesn't take very long to sit there before a three-way call, before a prospecting call, and just visualize how you want it to go. Visualizing what you want to say, how they're going to respond, and then what the outcome is going to be. Do that for yourself. Do that for the person on the other side, because they deserve it as well. They're giving up their time and energy to be a part of your opportunity. And so do the best that you can possibly do for them, and watch how it transforms your own life. This is Calvin Starr. I appreciate your opportunity to be able to work with you and share some of these insights that I have. Now go out there and make it count.